Hey guys, I'm back with another candle review, and this time around it's for the 14.5 ounce 3-wick white pumpkin Oakwood candle from Bath & Body Works, part of the upcoming next release of fall candles. This is one of the few new fragrances, so of course I wanted to check it out and see how it does. The notes on this read fresh picked white pumpkin, smooth sandalwood, and spiced pear. So on cold, I was getting quite a bit of like the white pumpkin candle mixed with the pumpkin patch candle, which is the same as pumpkin carving and also heirloom pumpkin. But upon burning it, I do have to say it changed a little bit, and I'm not getting that so much now. But what I do get when it's burning, I have burned this for about 5 times now. It really smells like a pretty even blend of the pumpkin patch slash pumpkin carving slash heirloom pumpkin candle mixed with heaps of their sandalwood note. So on the pumpkin front, what you get is pretty much the like pumpkin patch or the pumpkin carving candle is what I get from it. It's a like darker, a little bit heavier pumpkin spice fragrance. It's not so heavy on like the cinnamon as sweet cinnamon pumpkin is. It's a little bit darker and heavier. It has a lot of that brown sugar, molasses, and like a ginger note in there. Makes it a slightly heavier and not so edible or not so sweet pumpkin fragrance, but still a nice like quintessential pumpkin spice fragrance is what you get from it. If you smelled pumpkin patch or pumpkin carving before, it's pretty much like that candle, like literally just shoved in here, mixed with a very, very heavy and prominent sandalwood note is what I get from it. And the sandalwood is very reminiscent to the sandalwood that's in the coconut sandalwood candle, as well as the almond candle that was the like Elements or Essentials collection, which is also very similar to the almond blossom candle as well. If you recall, the sandalwood from even, I would say, Japanese cherry blossom has a very similar sandalwood note in there, while Madagascar vanilla. If you are familiar with any of those sandalwood notes, it's that very like distinctly Bath & Body Works sandalwood note that I often kind of call like dirty, but I'm not actually minding it so much in this candle. But there's a very heavy sandalwood presence, and it does come off quite like mature. It almost smells like a mature woman's pumpkin fragrance is what I get from it. Maybe if they made like a mature pumpkin body care fragrance, I would imagine this is kind of what it would smell like. It has a very heavy, mature, like sandalwood perfumey vibe to it. And sandalwood does have like still those like woodsy notes. It almost kind of smells like a fresh wood grain mixed with like a mature perfumey component. Is really what the sandalwood note smells like. So if you've ever smelled sandalwood in any of those candles that I mentioned, it's pretty much just like that sandalwood isolated mixed with like an even amount of the pumpkin patch and pumpkin carving candle. I'm not getting so much of the white pumpkin candle when it's burning. I was kind of getting it in the sense that it had like a sort of elegant or like a, I don't know, more pretty vibe to it. But when you go to burn it, it just really all translates into that heavy perfumey sandalwood note is what I'm getting from it. So really it's just like a pumpkin patch mixed with sandalwood candle. I feel like a more direct or like, I guess, accurate name for this would be like pumpkin sandalwood or sandalwood pumpkin would describe this perfectly. Maybe even like cashmere pumpkin could be another name for this. I think white pumpkin Oakwood is a little ambiguous, and they probably do that on purpose, because if it said pumpkin sandalwood on it, I probably wouldn't have even picked it up, because I'm just like, oh, I really don't like their coconut sandalwood, and I just really don't like their like sort of mature sandalwood note. But the fact that it says white pumpkin Oakwood is a little bit more ambiguous and a little bit maybe more enticing and just mysterious, that I can see why they went with that name. But pumpkin sandalwood, sandalwood pumpkin, or cashmere pumpkin would like describe this fragrance perfectly. Really very much a like I guess a mature woman's pumpkin fragrance is kind of what I get from this, but I don't mind it. So yeah, if you like pumpkin patch and if you just wanted heaps of sandalwood in it, this is pretty much what that fragrance is to me. It's kind of unique or different. I don't think they normally do a lot of like body care type of pumpkin fragrances. I think Marshmallow Pumpkin Latte is the only other one that we normally get, but that one, every time it's in candle form, is quite unscented. So this is, you know, an improvement in the sense that you can actually smell it. And you know, normally their pumpkin fragrances are the like super sweet bakery type pumpkin fragrances. So to get one that's a little bit more conceptual and a little bit more body care, more fine fragrance, it's interesting to me. So I don't mind that at all. It is a new blend, I suppose, in the sense that they're two fragrances that have never been combined before, but I can't really say it's a genuinely new fragrance in the sense that, you know, with Bath & Body Works a lot of times it's just like different notes from different candles just mixed together. So it's like something that's familiar that you've smelled before, but not necessarily in this combination. So not super new in the sense that it's like, oh my god, notes that I've never smelled before, but I guess it's a new mashup, so to speak. And that's probably all I can say about this fragrance. Let me go into performance. Moving on to the performance, I think I've burned this one about 5 times. This one's actually at the 4th day burn is what this footage is, but I have actually burned it one more time past this footage, and I do have to say it has degraded quite a bit. This has the thick rope-like wicks, and a lot of times there's like thick rope-like wicks that like are so vicious and high, and they soak like crazy if you don't trim them enough. But then there's some of them where occasionally it will be like really small, nubby, thick rope-like wicks, and that is what this one's doing. It has nubbed out on the 5th burn after this footage that you see here. It was never just really a vicious high burn to begin with. It's always been kind of slow to pull out, but it wasn't quite nubbing out, and the flames were still high enough as you see in this footage. But in the day after this, it really did nub out, and the throw has been impacted as well, and it's not as strong as it was initially. I would say when this was at its peak, it was a good like medium plus. I would say definitely in like the 7 to 7.5 range. I had no problem smelling it in a bedroom, even in an open concept area. I could still smell it to like a medium. It was still present, and it was noticeable every time you walked into the room. And the sandalwood is quite heavy, so the sandalwood does a lot in terms of increasing the throw and strength of this candle, that you can definitely smell it. But then I would say on the 5th burn, when it did start to degrade and really nub out and have really small puny flames, it definitely went more down to just like a medium of more to like just maybe a 4 to a 5. I was struggling to smell it in my bedroom, to be honest, but it was doing fine for the first 4 burns, but after that it's not doing so hot. So just keep that in mind, that this one did degrade quite a bit. So yeah, I would say, at its peak, definitely like a 7 to 7.5, but then when it's starting to nub out, it's more in the like 4 to 5 range. So not super happy about that, but it is what it is. Also, this is technically a luminary candle. You really can't tell, but there are very small cutouts in the stem of the gourds and the pumpkin that kind of shine light through, but it's not really a luminary candle in like the way that the blueberry pie candle was, or even the open sky one is. The cutouts are very minimal and hardly noticeable, so it's not really too much of a luminary candle in my opinion, but I guess there are some cutouts in it. But once again, the flames have also become very nubby and small, that it's not providing much light through the holes either. So there's that. So I guess that's the luminary portion of this candle. Overall, I actually don't mind this fragrance. I kind of like how it's different. It's like a pumpkin fine fragrance, and it has like the sandalwood that I normally don't like in there, but there's so much of the pumpkin patch, pumpkin carving candle to balance it out that I actually don't mind it. And it's just like a unique twist on a pumpkin fragrance. If you just want like an elegant pumpkin fragrance, or like a mature fine fragrance pumpkin fragrance, I would definitely check this out. It's not really an edible smell because there is so much sandalwood in there. So it's just like a nice deviation from the usual pumpkin spice fragrance. On cold, I was just like, this really just smells like a rehash of white pumpkin and pumpkin patch, but I'm happy to report that it did change a bit when you go to light it. As for it being a repurchase, I don't think so, just because the performance has started to falter on the 5th burn. And while I enjoy the fragrance, it's not something I need to hoard, but if you enjoy like coconut sandalwood but want like a pumpkin sandalwood version for the fall time, or if you like sandalwood vanilla, or if you like any of their candles with a heavy sandalwood presence but also enjoy their pumpkin fragrances as well, I would definitely check this out. And that's pretty much it. Let me know if you tried this candle down below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.